I got a tip one day at City Hall at Vancouver about Rory's Towing. It's a fly-by-night tow company that it had a contract with private lots, and the city made a stupid rule that he couldn't impose vehicles unless he had the written permission of the lot owner, which involved some slips to sign. And the rumor was that he was forging them, which is a criminal offense. So then you think, how can you get a story about a guy ripping off people in the towing industry unless you become a tow truck driver? So I didn't shave for a day or two, and put on some work clothes, got myself a pair of work boots, went to the unemployment office in Vancouver, and I looked at all the cards for positions, and one was for a tow truck driver at Coquitlam Towing. Well, isn't that perfect? So I go to the counter and I say, with the card with me, and I said, I'd like to apply for this job. And the person said,
Are you on unemployment insurance?
And I thought, and I said, why?
Because you can't make an application for this job unless you're unemployed.
Lie number one. I said, yeah, I've been out of work for a while. And I was working for CKNW. So that's a lie. So also it's a criminal offense. So then I'm sent in to see a guy, and I'd use my middle name, which is Reno Garrett. So I went to see the guy and said I wanted this job. Here comes lie number two.
Well, Reno, do you have any experience driving a tow truck?
And I invented something. I said, well, I used to hang around the service station in Moose Jaw, and they'd let me drive the tow truck once in a while.
I'm going to send you out to Coquitlam Towing, but let me give you some advice, Reno. Have a bit of a shave and clean yourself up.
And I said, yeah, well, thank you very much. So I did. And I thought I'll act like a hick from Saskatchewan, which is easy because I was. And I threw the unemployment card on the counter in front of the young fellow at the front counter. And I said, unemployment sent me. He said,
You want to apply for a job driving a tow truck?
I said, yes. What's wrong? Am I too old?
Age has nothing to do with it. You're George Garrett. I hear you on CKNW, and I saw you on the Patello Bridge yesterday morning.
I said, yeah, you've got me. That's me. So he said,
What's it all about?
and I said, I want to get a job with Rory's Towing and expose what they're doing.
Oh, go see my dad. He's the boss down the hall.
So I went in to see his dad, and I told him what I wanted to do. And he put me with a senior driver. Police call to the old Portman Bridge. It no longer exists, but on Coquitlam side, of course. And a young Mounties at the scene of an accident. And I pulled up, he said,
I want that car out of here now!
So my heart's going like this, and I'm on the slope, and I've got to back up and hook onto the car. Oh. So I got it out of there. So I thought, well, I've got enough experience. I can go down and try to get a job with Rory's. I parked my car a few blocks away. I left my wallet in the trunk. I had no license, no ID, no money, no nothing. And I walked into Rory's. It's underneath the Granville Street Bridge, dimly lit lot. And the guy said,
Yeah, what do you want?
I said, I'm looking for a job. Within the hour, in comes Rory. First thing he does is say to his guys,
Hey, give me some of them there slips.
it's the authorization slips, and he forges 4 or 5 of them, maybe more. So I'm seeing him commit forgery in my very eyes. I know I've got a story.
You could ride with one of my guys. I won't pay you, but you can get some experience.
I said, okay. So I thought one night will do. So I go out with them. We're coming over the Granville Street Bridge. Guy picks up the mic and he says,
Gate.
I wonder what that is. They didn't have a gate, but in order to prevent people stealing their own cars, they pulled the car across the gate so they couldn't get out. So if they're bringing a car in, as we were doing, the driver would, as on the bridge, he would say gate, and by that time he got there and it's open, in they go and close again. But they're telling me all kinds of stories.
Hey, we're going for a beer.
And I said, geez, I don't have any money.
Come on, we'll buy you a beer.
So we go to the main hotel. It's on Main Street, not far from the Georgia Viaduct. It's really a very dark and not a good place. And as I sat down with the guys, I recognized the waiter. His name is Wayne, and I know him to be a pimp from Maine and Hastings. And I thought, I hope he doesn't reveal who I am. I didn't have to wait. He says,
"Hey, George, why are you sniffing around here?"
and I said, "You got the wrong guy. I'm Reno."
No. Come on, you're George Garrett of CKWX.
Wrong station. And my heart once again is going. But they didn't twig at all. They bought me a beer and so on. And then walked me back to the office. And they were telling me stories about how they beat up on people who tried to take their car. So they were a pretty rough crowd. And eventually I had a lot of information, so I phoned Rory and I said, "Rory, I was working for you, at least I was hanging out with your guys, but I'm a reporter. And I said, I'm going to do a story on you about forging sales slips."
Oh, yeah, George, when are you going to put it on?
"Oh, it'll be on." So I put the story on, and of course it was very, very bad for him.
It's just a job to watch on you. A lone detective just out of view.